Welcome to another episode in the web series Fuhdeloveuhbim. I am your host, Consul General Sonia Marvel Carter, and today we are going to be featuring Joseph Callender. The name doesn't sound familiar to you? Well, hopefully in a little while it will be very familiar to you. Joseph Callender is a young Barbadian musician who is pursuing studies here in Canada. He is extremely talented, and not only that, he is the composer, lyricist, arranger, and saxophonist behind this particular piece of music. Well, if you don't know that music, you have not been paying attention. Yes, it is the theme music for this web series, Fuhdeloveuhbim. Before I let you meet Joseph, let me just give you a little background. I met Joseph approximately 5 months ago at the beginning of this entire COVID-19 pandemic, when the Consulate General of Barbados here at Toronto, we had reached out to the international students in the diaspora to ensure that everybody was okay, doing fine, or if they needed assistance. So we reached out by social media and we asked the international students to get in touch with us. Joseph Callender got in touch with us to let us know how he was doing. And then, not very long after that, one of the directors of one of the Barbadian associations here in Canada also mentioned Joseph Callender to me. And I'm thinking, wow, I only just met this young man. But it continues. Approximately 3 weeks ago, I was going through the list of students who were being awarded scholarships by the Grant Morris Foundation. That's another Barbadian charitable organization here in Canada. And guess whose name is on the list? Joseph Callender. I was so happy for him and so proud. But that second introduction to Joseph Callender birthed an idea of including our international students in one of the episodes or a number of the episodes of the web series. So that was followed up by a call to Joseph, and where I would have asked Joseph if he was interested in participating in the web series and explaining to him exactly what it was all about. I thought, let me just ask him by chance if he has any original music. Joseph said to me, yes, I do. And once he knew what the web series was about, he said to me, I have the perfect piece of music, I think, for this web series. And it was a song that he had called Apocalypso. And that is the theme music that we use for this web series, Fuhdeloveuhbim. I fancy myself a creative, so I get very excited when I am talking to and about other creatives or artists. But let me just shut up now and give Joseph an opportunity to tell you all about himself.
Studying there, I was under the direction of He's my first music teacher. He was the one who convinced my mom to get me a flute after I started developing on the recorder really fast. Action. What? So while I was studying at foundation, I was introduced to Cassius Clay through my mom because he went into the music store to play a saxophone. He didn't know who would be playing the saxophone in his band. He just knew he wanted a youngster to join the band playing saxophone. He had his children's band called the Eggs Band, and that's how I got my first set of gigs and touring experience, events in Winnipeg, Bajan curated events, and then it started to catch fire. We started doing some smaller festivals in Winnipeg. I was only 12 when I started. I got my A on the saxophone to get the C, so that was a whole learning curve. I was also using the saxophone at foundation school, so I had a bit of experience practicing some classical sax with Brian Cole in the pop band with Barbadian. While I was learning to read music and playing different ensembles, I was also learning to play by ear with the Eggs Band. So after 4 years of being in the Eggs, I was just about ready to graduate from foundation My experience studying with Arturo had to be like this, just continuously rising. I was just about to be ready to graduate at UCC when Archie Aline came to Barbados on tour with his band, Collage. When I heard that Archie was from Canada, a lot of things aligned for me in my head because I had missed when I said, if you want to study music, you should go to Toronto. There's a great school there called Humber College. And so I got his scholarship at Barbados Jazz Society, Susan Bain particularly. I put some fundraisers together. I was raising money in order to pay for my first year. I was really thrilled by how many people came on and supported me. The first year, when I came, I got to perform with people like Walid. Walid is a Sudanese multi-instrumentalist, which is the African ensemble. So many, like a lot of gigs were like, oh, we know a saxophone player that can do this, just call this guy. Hey, Joe, can you make this? Yes, I can. I show up. Sometimes the guys don't even speak the same language, and like there's charts or there are no charts. People are singing. They send you recordings. You learn them. All these are things that you develop these skills from just studying music and being passionately involved. Ollie Johnson, Ike, Lionel Lewis, Mike Downs, Robbie Boatrush, Boosie, Akua Naru, Rudy Ray, Saber, Alicia Brilla, and many others. Really, like it's hard to pinpoint everybody. I had experiences where nobody in the band was speaking language that I was speaking, so it was really about listening. If you know anything about Toronto, you know that there's people from all different ethnic backgrounds here. So another big part of my musical experience here is just listening to a lot of Indian traditional music, and Brazilian music, and African music, which is very deep and wide. North American music, a whole lot, studying the history of that music. And there's some classical music as well, just to get my technique and stuff up, rudimentary stuff. I played in wedding bands, I played for bar mitzvahs, Jewish celebration. So a lot of my musical influence comes from the requirement of the gig. Brahms or Bach or Chopin, and I would learn that music, and that would influence me. I finished playing in rock and roll bands, so I listened to a lot of pop music, pop rock, R&B, soul music. The other half of it, who I had the opportunity to perform with, John Legend, who I opened for. I used to play a lot of his songs at weddings in Barbados. Kenny G, because his music was playing so much and people would request it. And then Sonny Rollins, Charlie Parker, Dexter Gordon, John Coltrane, Louis Armstrong, Clifford Brown, Lee Morgan, Oscar Peterson. There's so many. Like when you listen to Charlie Parker's music, you're getting to take in Miles Davis, you're getting to take in Dizzy Gillespie, you're getting to take in all the people that was in that band supporting him, the drummers, the bass players, and those musicians would rotate. So my whole life I've been like a movie since I picked instruments up. A lot of things really changed for me miraculously. The kinds of people that come into my life and the impact is truly unexplainable. The Legacy Foundation, Barbados Jazz Society, the Paloma Foundation, Errol Barrow Memorial Trust, Grant Morris, Caribbean Event Family. The school is so expensive but so important, and very often we need help in order to pursue our dreams and make the most of our experience in life. Iggy, also known as Yolanda, Joel Birnbaum, Charles Knapp and his family, Patty and Bruce. Now that I'm finished, my goal is to help make it easier and continue to do my own music, continue to work with artists in the studio. There's so many names. I truly feel lucky to be a musician and to have this experience, to just find angels without knowing where they would come from. Joy Levine, I didn't have a lot of money in my household when I was coming up in Barbados. My mom got 7 children, one of her children got 4. And figuring out, how is this going to be possible? And sure enough, it worked out. So if I could offer some advice to anybody pursuing anything really, as long as you're passionate about it and your intentions are good, go at it with full steam. That's number 1. Number 2, don't think too much about how, just think about what you want to be doing. And I feel like a lot of times the how fixes itself in the most mysterious, miraculous ways. Life is truly stranger than fiction.
Well, isn't that a fantastic story? I'm pretty sure you're in awe of Joseph now, as I was when I first met him. I wish we could go on, but we are out of time. So that's it, the end of another episode of Fuhdeloveuhbim. But see you next week, and until then, be safe.